What are the top 4 cities in northern Utah? In this video, we're going to be going over the top 4 cities that are the most desirable cities for people to live on, based on cost, location, activities, and the pros and cons, and possibly schools, recreational, and commute to Salt Lake City. All coming up in this video. Hi, my name is Jenny. I am with Real Broker, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can learn more about Utah and making your next move, because wherever you're at, your home ownership begins on my channel. Let's get into it. Coming in one of the #1 top cities in the northern Utah is Logan. Now, I want to show you this map right here. If you look up here, Logan is past Kaysville, past Lehi, all the way up to this Logan area. Now, there's only about 35,000 residents there in Logan. It's about an hour away, if not a little bit more, because you are going through a canyon to get through to Logan. Now, the reason why Logan is the top city, #1, low crime. #2, job opportunities, because it has Utah State University up there, which means you have a lot of transient students coming in and out, which creates a lot of job opportunities for teachers, for the education departments, for any departments as far as renting apartments up there, food and restaurants up there. It has its own little haven up there for people to live. The majority of the people that really want to live up there is for the community vibe and feel. It is a smaller town with a lot of opportunities up there, which is why people love living in Logan. Logan not only has some great communities, but it also has exquisite views as far as landmarks and mountain views. You are going to get a lot of snow up there. It's its own little village of understanding how beautiful Utah can be in the northern areas. Now, it is about an hour away from Park City, so it's a little bit of a different vibe than what people might be used to as far as skiing up there. They do have some small slopes near around Logan area, but just know they're not the popular ones in Utah. The people who are living in Logan are not looking for touristy areas and high trafficking areas. They're looking for more of a smaller, slow life. Now, the top communities to be living in Logan are going to be Cliffside and Island. These are actual neighborhoods where people are wanting to live in these neighborhoods due to the connection of where the location is at in Logan. There are only a few schools in Logan due to the low population as well. They do have an average school ranking compared to all of Utah as well. This one might shock you. Even though Logan is a small city, it still costs around $1,900 a month to live there. That's 23% above the average of all the other cities across the nation. Now, to buy a home in Logan, you're still looking around the average purchase price around $420,000. You are going to get single family homes. You are going to get larger lots because, again, it's a smaller area. They do have the up and rising of townhouses as well, and building happening because of the schools. Families graduate, they meet their loved ones there, and they want to stay in these communities because of the lifestyle it's created. Now, if you're talking about religion, you're still getting a high predominancy of Christianity and Mormonism in these cities as well, due to its attraction that it has with the university and attracting these type of families who want to raise their families in a smaller town with still having so many opportunities. Now, some of the fun activities that you can do in Logan are definitely hitting the slopes. They have some ski slopes up there, trails, hiking, getting up into nature and walking around. They have some incredible hikes, whether you want short hikes or long hikes, that are about 10-15 minutes away to the areas in Logan. Now, you can always broaden out. So I want to take your attention to my map down here on my computer screen. So you can see here's Logan. It's really quite close to the 91, so you're able to actually get some transit into other cities. So you can see how it's laid out. You've got the Logan Temple in here. You've got fun, cute restaurants in here. If we were to zoom in down, so here is Logan in itself. It has a lot of opportunities. You can see there are a lot of churches. We're seeing a church right there. You've also got the Key Bank. You've got the United, you got a police department. Now I want to show you where the university is at. Utah State University is going to be right here in this area. But then if you zoom out even more, you can see how close they are to the mountain range right here. So this is a wonderful canyon to be able to come in here and be able to find some hikes and some trails and biking. You name it, they've got it. They've got the Logan River just going right through here. You've got everything you need between hotels and restaurants to be able to live a thriving life in the city, even though it's a smaller town compared to all the other towns in Utah. You can see there's next to a lot of little farmlands over here as well. Logan's really known for growing a lot of really good berries and farmlands. It's just too far away for me to drive up there. It's about an hour and a half one way for me to get to Logan. It doesn't mean I'm not going to help you buy a house in Logan, because I'm definitely trying to help you find places that are beneficial for you. We even have the North Logan. It has the Eccles Ice Arena over here. They even have a theater weather in this city. So it's such a beautiful city nestled in between the farmland and the mountain land if you want to pick Logan as your place to live. The second one we're going to be talking about is Kaysville. Kaysville, let me show you on the map what we're looking at. Come on over here. All right, let's jump over to Kaysville. So if we're looking at Kaysville out a little bit, so here's Kaysville right here in this area. We've got Layton. We were just all the way up here in Logan area, which is all the way up here. So we were just up here in Logan. Now we're coming down more towards Layton and Kaysville area, which is still about a 35-minute drive into downtown Salt Lake. So much, much closer than Logan for sure. Now, Kaysville is a wonderful place to live because of its access to the I-15 to be able to get up north if that's what you want to do, or to get down south and to the Salt Lake City area, which is why a lot of people choose Kaysville to live in, because if they want to work in Salt Lake City, they can live in Kaysville and only have a smaller commute. Now, the traffic does get as bad as, not nearly as bad as it is between Utah County and Salt Lake County for sure. Kaysville is more of a very small city. So there's only about 33,000 population here, but you're nestled in with all of these other cities around here, so it doesn't feel small. It's definitely more of a city vibe with you have more rural housing, and then you're going to leave Kaysville to go more towards Fruit Heights to Layton in order to get your conveniences of shopping around that. Now, Kaysville has some really, really good schools up there, which is why it's known as one of the top schools to be, top areas to be living in, is because of their education system. Kaysville is not nearly as expensive as Layton is actually cheaper than Layton due to its proximity of living close to Did I say Layton? I meant Logan. Layton's on my screen right here. That's why I said Layton. But no, Logan. Logan happens to be more expensive than Kaysville because Logan is nestled into a beautiful area, whereas Kaysville is more of the hustle and bustle in the city of the area. But you can still get a lot of urban feel. There's a lot of new build happening out in Kaysville. New builders are coming out there. So let's dive into why people think that Kaysville is a great place to live. Okay, so aside from having some really great schools, Kaysville is also really known for its recreational areas. So you can have some fun things. They've got the Cherry Hill Water Park over there. They've got golfing. They've got famous Kaysville 4th of July parade over there. It is still a very knit-side community. Now, again, across the board in all of Utah, being religious is a big deal. So Christianity is still going to be a good thing over there. So you're going to have the low crime in these areas as well. Conveniences are going to be pretty close, 10 to 15 minutes away, even less depending on where you live. There's a lot of builders building in Utah, and so I want to tell you about some of them. Okay, guys, it is very overwhelming to how many builders are actually in Kaysville. So I kind of want to break it down a little bit for you. What I always recommend is that you and I have a conversation about what your needs and desires are on building a home. And that way I can do the homework to be able to find the right builder in the right areas. Because Kaysville is such a small area, you guys, they are going to be in small proximity to these locations. So it really is just going to come down to how much does the house cost? Does it have the specs that you want it for? And are you happy with the incentives of the builder and the timeline of the builder? Which are all things that I take into consideration when you're wanting to build a home. Let's look at Perry's Homes, okay? A lot of these builders are now offering lower interest rates due to having their own financing and working with specific lender companies. Doesn't mean it's not compatible or can be matched by other lenders, just something to take a note of. So if you can see, we look at the communities over here for Perry Homes. So as you can see here on this map right here, this is where Perry Homes is building. You zoom in here and you are seeing it's in the Layton Kaysville area up here in the Ogden area, and you just can click on it. It's called the West Gate, and you can start doing some research. Let's jump over to Castle Creek. We have Castle Creek, which is also building. Looks like, let's see other communities they have right here in Layton. They have the Layton one, and they have, looks like that's the only one they have. It's just the Layton one. So it's not actually in Kaysville, but it is in Layton. A lot of this might come down to depending on where your schools and the locations of your schools you might want to be in. Let's look at the communities here. So we've got some West Haven, we've got some Syracuse. Syracuse is close to Kaysville. So you can see, click for information where the area is at. Let's look at this map right here. So you can see right here, this is Kaysville up here, and then you've got Syracuse. So Syracuse is put a little bit further back away from the freeway on that one there. Now how do I get out of that? So you've got, that's Avitation. All of these are gonna have different pros and cons. Just tells you how much Kaysville is growing and how much land they still have to grow around. So it looks like this guy, who is this guy? Symphony. I'm familiar with Symphony Homes. I knew they were gonna be building, so they definitely have some good lots here in Kaysville. So you can see here's the I-15. You come off, there's got the fun boondocks, which I'm familiar with. Boondocks is like go-kart, arcade, maybe bowling, maybe laser tag. But you can see here we've got the preserve area up here. You can go look at the preserve. You can see the type of homes. A lot of times these communities might be in the upper range of $800 to $1 million. It just kind of depends on what your price range is going to be. That's going to kind of control where you're going to want to look for a house. Then we've got the Henry Walker right here, the Henry Walker homes. Here's some floor plans here. Arches, cedar. This has got a 4-bed, 3.5 bath, 2,100 square feet. So it looks like they're a little bit further along. Some builders might be in only phase 1. Some might be in like 2 or 3 phases. Just kind of depends. I just called one the other day for a client in Eagle Mountain. They're like, oh, we're not really introducing it for another couple weeks. And I'm like, but I want to know. My clients need to know. So there's a lot of new builders in these areas. If you're looking for a regular standard home, you're still looking for the average price range between $500 and $550. You are able to get larger lots in Kaysville due to its demographic of being an older city, and they're not having as many townhouses. Now there are townhouses over there, but it is more of a vibe of a slower community, which is why it's on the top list of top cities in the northern cities. So I'm quite familiar with Kaysville because I had some family members live there back in the day, and it was a very small, quaint town with larger homes. So if you want like the 3-car garage with some land, you are able to get that in Kaysville. And the commute to schools make it a great community for families to be able to grow up, and with a lower crime, which makes it put it on the top charts of the northern cities. Let's jump into our next one, you guys. Our third city that we're reviewing on this video, guys, is Ogden City. Let's jump over to my map to show you what we're looking at over here. So if we look at Ogden, Utah. So Ogden is actually a larger city compared to all the other ones that we've been looking at up here. As you can see, we were just looking at Kaysville, which is right here, and Logan, which is upward north. And so then Ogden is a little bit more north than Kaysville. It's about 20 more minutes north, which you do the math, that gives you about 45-minute drive into Salt Lake City. Ogden has some hit and miss pockets as far as crime is concerned. You've got to find the good neighborhoods, which is why it's good to have a good realtor to know, because Ogden is a very old city, so you've got a lot of older homes in these areas, and you've also got it mixed with some new homes as well. Ogden has about 87,000 residents in there. So if you want to compare it to a Sandy, Utah, that's kind of what you're looking at here. Is it is the hub of the area of the northern area of Davis County. In that area, it's going to cost you around $470 to buy an average home, but the home prices do go above that. They are having some more build come in there, but it's a little bit more of a hit and miss, whereas Kaysville is more of like an up and coming city, whereas Ogden is very established in their conveniences, in their locations and areas. You have easy access to skiing. They've got some really great high schools in that area as well. Again, Ogden is a really hit and miss. I've definitely helped clients sell houses up there in Ogden and to find houses up there. It can be very competitive because it is like the hub of Davis County up there in that city. So you have to make sure you look out for what kind of areas you want to be in. If you want that vibe with the old mixed with the new, that is definitely what you're going to be getting in the Ogden areas. They definitely support their arts and their fine arts and the shows of theater and having fun with restaurants. All 3 of the cities that we've reviewed so far have really great restaurants. Kaysville is more on the outskirts, so you do have to go into Logan or into even Ogden to be able to get some of the things you want with restaurants and conveniences. But knowing that you actually have access to this stuff because you are close to the I-15 is going to make a huge difference. Now, jumping over again to my computer. So if we want to zoom in a little bit here, you can see you've got the hotels, you've got the conference centers, you are close to the I-15. You are also close to the mountain range right here. So you've also got access to doing hiking, biking, and trails. You'll begin to notice a pattern, you guys, being close by the Wasatch Range is really going to be the most expensive type of house. So when I say $470 for a purchase price of the house, just know if you're in this area like the Robinson, the Alta Lander, you're looking at a much more expensive area because these homes can be built a lot bigger. Now these ones are actually pretty small compared to the ones that I was going to be showing you because, like I said, Ogden is a very old town and it was established by some pioneers. And you can get up here and you can see you got the bigger, the larger lots right next to the canyon up here is the most desirable place that people want to live. Then you can see how close, easy access they have. A church right here. You've got plenty of Christianity churches in this area. It's again set up like a grid, which is very normal for Utah. But you can see it's going to take you about 10-15 minutes to get to from the rural area down to the downtown historical area. They do have some, look at this, got this cute little, here's your amphitheater, and I talk about the theaters. Here's a historic street right here with all the fun little things on the 25th Street. Looks like they even have, looks like the day that they did this, it looked like there was tents in the street. Is that just me? Yes, there are tents in the street. It must have been the day they were celebrating something with the city. So you can see the 25th Street is definitely a known historic area because you're still going to get that small town vibe. Even though there's 87,000 people, it is a very old town. So they do like to hold their historical weight as far as celebrations. You can see there's a river that runs through here. There are some famous lakes around this area, guys. I know that you can see the Salt Lake area really close here, but I'll tell you it's actually quite far away. If you're living in the cities, going to the Salt Lake actual Salt Lake, you're not going to go to it. People don't go to the Salt Lake to like get in the lake. I don't know if you knew that, but that's just not a thing. It has too much acidity in it, so nobody actually gets in the lake. They do have some beautiful things on Antelope Island to be able to photography and have some fun, but you're really going to stay close knit between here and have fun in the Snow Basin Resort with skiing and hiking and the lifestyle that you're provided in that Ogden area, you guys. Let's jump into our next one. Our last city that we're going to be reviewing on the top cities in the northern area of Utah is going to be Bountiful. Bountiful is just like it is said. It is very bountiful. It's very beautiful. It is a higher price range of a community to be living in. Let me show you where we're at on the maps if you want to come to me. It is the closest city to Salt Lake City, which again, why it's the most expensive one. It has the most high-rise views as far as wanting to get some incredible homes within the mountain ranges, and you're close to big areas such as the Lagoon theme park that is actually in the Bountiful area. You have an average home price around the $500 to $550, but I'll tell you, you can definitely get in that $1 million range. It is, again, an older town, but it is a very up-and-coming town. Think green, green, green Bountiful during the summer, and that's what people love Bountiful for. It definitely attracts more of the upper scale communities as far as wanting good schools and very nice clean parks. You have easy access to the canyons. You can really get in more of that city vibe. Bountiful is more of a rural city, whereas if Ogden, you've got a lot of hustle and bustle with commercial and conveniences. Kaysville's on the outskirts. Your conveniences are in different areas, and Bountiful's kind of that same way. It's kind of a mix of between those, but Bountiful's really known for its rural areas. So if you're looking right here, again, you're really close to the I-15. You do have the railroad that goes all the way up north, you guys, that famous railroad that we have throughout Utah. But look how much bigger this city is. So the population of Bountiful is about 44,000 on this one, you guys. And again, just think of the name Bountiful. It is a very desired city. I'd say out of the 4 ones that we just talked about, Bountiful is probably the most desired one in the northern areas, just because it's so close to Salt Lake City. You're getting away from the city. You're getting the adventure of the lifestyle with the mountains and the easy access. You are having more upscale, larger homes in these areas and more parks and recreational areas versus the hustle and the bustle in the city like Ogden is. And then too far away, Logan sometimes is just too far away for other people. Kaysville might be maxed out as far as, is there any availability of homes? So you're looking at building a home, whereas Bountiful, you can actually find the old mixed with the new in the homes and the variety here. Again, does have every convenience you're possibly looking for. It's just not known for the hustle and the bustle of the city like Ogden would be. So you guys, I've had so much fun reviewing this video with you guys and talking about the top 4 desired cities in northern Utah. If you are interested in moving into these areas, let me know. We can talk a lot more about your situation and what your needs are, whether it's schools, whether it's communities, whether it's the commute time to your work, whether it's that price range, or whether you want to build a new home. Reach out, let's have that conversation, guys. And until then, I will see you in my next video.